こんにちは。今日はカタカナ、さしすせそ、たちつてとを勉強します。You can find sa through so in our classroom Kana book, 31ページにあります。You can also watch a video, Katakana Lesson 3 on YouTube. So this first one is sa, and this one's a little tricky, I think. It looks a lot like backwards hiragana se, and that's how I tend to remember it just because it's so goofy. So you have ichi, ni, san, and that's sa. So it is similar to the mnemonic for hiragana sa in that it's supposed to look like a saw, like sawing down a tree, maybe a two-handled saw. Common word used that has sa in it is sarada, salad. これはしです。She has 3 strokes. 1, 2, 3 goes up, not down. The strategy for this is that it looks like a smiley face. So here are the 2 eyes here, and then here is the mouth. Now, I kind of like to make this one not so diagonal like this, or more like this. So she's looking up. I make these 2 eyes horizontal, and then I make this stroke going up this way. And that's because there's a similar character, and it's tsu. Now, tsu looks like this, and it's supposed to be going down. So the way I write she is this way, and the way I write tsu is this way. So another thing that might help you with she to remember that this portion goes up is that she kind of goes up like that, hiragana shi. A word that has this in it is Chicago, for Chicago. Su. Su is easy. I like this strategy right here where it looks like Sue, she has her arm out. You know, there's a flip of her skirt right here. Another one that you might like to use is that I always consider this sort of a shape of a mouth. And so it would look like that. And there's soup running down the side of the mouth there, dribbling off the chin. And consistent with that imagery is a common word with su in it, and it's spoon. So perhaps your spoon doesn't work, and it's causing you to dribble. Sei is similar to hiragana sei. You have 2 strokes, ichi, ni desu. The only thing that's different there is that obviously that first stroke is hooked, and so you don't want to bring it over and hook it, or it'll look too much like hiragana sei. Common word in katakana that starts with sei is seita, for sweater. これはそうです. So has 2 strokes. 1, 2. This one's supposed to go down. And one way to remember this is the strategy where you have, this could either be the needle, or this is perhaps the stitch, and this is the needle. And that's what they've done there. So with a needle and a thread, I think this should be the stitch, and this should be the needle. That way you remember that this stroke goes down. Now, why should you remember the stroke goes down? It's because there's another one that's exactly opposite, and it's un. And that stroke goes, that looks terrible, that stroke goes up. Okay, so often you can tell whether or not a stroke is going up or down based on how it tapers off. So if I do this, it tapers off here. If I do this, it tapers off here. So I can usually tell. A word that has so in it is sosu, sauce. Now, just like with hiragana sashi susei so, you have dakuten or ten, where S becomes Z or J, as the case might be. So sa becomes za, shi, ji, su, zu, se, and ze. And so becomes so. じゃあ読みましょうか. Go ahead and pause the video, see if you can recognize the characters in the words here, and also maybe just try to see if you can read the words or know what the words mean in English. じゃあ、これはキス. Kisu, so kiss. And remember that ki looks like hiragana ki. Su doesn't look anything like hiragana su, but it's soup coming out of the mouth. Or if you chose the other strategy, that was the shape of su kind of running around. Tsugi wa Chicago. Tsugi means next. Chicago is Chicago. And this she, remember she's looking up. So that kind of reminds you that that stroke goes up there. Ka looks like hiragana ka. Go is the shape of a square coin, or it was the shape of the square that's cut out of the 5 yen coin, which incidentally, 5 is read go, so that's helpful. Kore score, meaning score. So soup coming out of the mouth. The ko for the coin. A is supposed to be a sideways A. Tsugi wa sega. Se looks like hiragana se, only more hooked at the end here. Ga looks like hiragana ka, 10-10. This next one is goso goso, a rustling sound. So you'll notice words like this in Japanese where it repeats a sound. And those are often onomatopoeic sounds of, knock knock or ring ring or whatever. In this case, it's a rustling sound. So it's go, the coin, right, the shape of the coin again. So is the thread and the needle, which is going down into the fabric to help you remember that that stroke goes down and not up. Tsugi wa kiza kiza. Can also be, it means jagged or notched. So that's another one of those onomatopoeic sounds. Oddly, it doesn't here represent a sound so much as a way something appears. So ki, obviously then looks like hiragana ki. Za is, I was thinking of as backwards say, but maybe that's not very helpful. So it could be like a saw, two-handled saw there. Tsugi wa Asia, right? Sideways A. She's looking up with a 10-10. So Ji. And then again, sideways A. Tsugi wa Saizu. So saw, shape of a saw, or backwards say. I, supposed to be a capital I if you add that stroke at the bottom. And zu, the soup coming out of the mouth or dribbling down the chin here. That's size. This is Asia. それから Zeus is a little hard to pronounce in Japanese, but it's sei 10-10 zei. U, remember, it looks like hiragana u, and sauce dribbling down your, or soup dribbling down the side of your mouth. And sei looks like hiragana sei. And that's Zeus, that last one. じゃあ書きましょうか. Go ahead and pause the video, get out a piece of paper, see if you can remember how to write these characters, and check your answers when you're finished. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Ki is the shape of a ki, looks like hiragana ki. Su, the shape of the mouth with the soup dribbling out the side. Chicago, she's looking up. So remember that stroke goes up. Ka is easy because it's only one stroke removed from hiragana ka. Go is the shape of a square coin, or it's the inside of a coin, the 5-yen coin. Score is soup coming out of the mouth. Ko, the square coin, or the inside, the cutout part of the inside of the coin. And then A for sideways A. Sega is easy. Se looks like hiragana se. And then you have ka, or ga. So ka 10-10 ga. Goso goso. So you have that coin thing again. And so remember is the stitch and the needle that goes down. So repeat that. So it's the stitch and the needle that goes down into the fabric. じゃあ次はキザキザ。き za is backwards say, and ki za. Asia. So you have the sideways A. G is she's looking up, 10-10. And then a, saizu. Sa, remember, is backwards say. I is supposed to be like a capital I with a diagonal at the top rather than a flat top. And zu is su, that's soup, 10-10. And Zeus is ze, looks like hiragana. U, shape of your mouth, or looks like hiragana u, and then su. The next set is ta, chi, tsu, te, to. You can find that in our Classroom Kana book, page 33. And to watch a video, I would go to Katakana lesson 4 on YouTube. じゃあ、これはたです。Now this looks suspiciously like ku, right? So if you take a look at it, ku is like this, and then ta is just one stroke removed. Now notice that it doesn't usually go over. Here, this font chosen for this one, it actually goes over. Most of the time it doesn't go over. So here's what the strokes look like. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this is supposed to look like a necktie, where this is the collar right here, and this portion is the tie portion. So it looks like a necktie, and actually that ties it into those two sounds. So you have ku, part of necktie, and then you have ta for tai. A common word that starts with ta in Japanese is tabako, which basically means cigarettes. Chi is 3 strokes. 1, 2, 3. The strategy for this one is actually the same as for hiragana chi, just in a slightly different format. This top portion is supposed to be the sign that they're holding, and then, I don't know, this could be the arms rather than the arm and the leg as pictured here. And then this is kind of, I guess it makes sense that that portion is the leg. But anyway, cheerleader cheering, a common word is chizu, which can mean cheese, but also what you say before you take a picture. これはつです. This looks a lot like she. But notice whereas she's looking up, tsu is looking down. So she's looking up, and tsu, what can we think here? You can think of maybe su, but that kind of messes you up in terms of the sound since it actually has a T in front of it. She looks up, tsu looks down. Also, you can think of this in terms of tsuna, the tsu, hiragana tsu goes this direction, right? So you can think of that as kind of following that same trajectory. The strategy here is tsunami. I don't really think it looks like a tsunami, but anyway. Taitsu is a word that contains su in it. Taitsu. So ta, which we just studied, right? Looks like ku. It's supposed to look like kind of like a necktie there. That doesn't actually come through. I, and then su. Te. Te looks quite a lot like chi. Some differences. Chi's top is more angular. That second stroke is the same. And then, of course, this comes all the way through with chi. But with te, you have this and a second one, and then you have the leg here. This could look like a telephone pole, right? Where you just don't connect this portion right here. Or it could also be a table, like a double layered table, kind of like we have going for hiragana te. Common word, terebi. Terebi, terebi. To. So this is 2 strokes. Ichi, ni. Quite easy. This is maybe not the most PC strategy, but it looks like a totem pole, where perhaps then this coming out here could be a wing. And perhaps all of you know a Miyazaki film, My Neighbor Totoro. Just like with hiragana, the T ro takes a dakuten, or a ten-ten in katakana. So it goes, in tachi tsu te to becomes daji zu de do. Notice though that this G, similar to this G, is not used very often. じゃあ読みましょうか. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can read these words and restart when you're ready to check your answers. これはタコス, which means tacos, Mexican food. 次はソチ. That's the name of Sochi in Russia. 次はトス. Tosu means toss. Doru. Oddly, this means dollar. So not sure why somebody would name it doru instead of dora, but whoever was in the katakana office that day. 次は出すと dasto. So dust. 次はドイツ Deutsch, Germany. テスト testo, which means test. The single character here is zu. Zu. それからアイデア for idea. じゃあ書きましょうか. So the first one is ta. It's ku with that line through it. Ko, coin. Su coming out the side of soup coming out the side of your mouth. Sochi, remember the stitch and the thread sewing going down into the fabric. Chi, cheerleader. That's a tricky one. Tosu. To is supposed to be the totem pole with the line up here. Su, soup coming out of the mouth. Doru is to, 10-10. Do, oh, we don't know do yet either, do we? Sorry about that. Dasu to, da. Ta, 10-10. Su with the soup coming out of the mouth. To, the totem pole to. 次はドイツ. So, to, 10-10. I, right? So, the one that looks like a capital I with a slightly diagonal top. Tsu. Okay, remember that tsu goes down like this. So, think of the tsunami like this, coming down. Testo. So, te looks like a table, I think. Su, to for totem pole. And ji, I think what they want here is this one. But that's not very common. So, zu, remember it goes down. So, su looks down. And she looks up. Idea. So, sideways I, de is table, that 2-layered table. And then